Hello and welcome to another Views from the Valley, your weekly roundup of the news coming to you from the v3.co.uk offices here in San Francisco. With me as ever, Shaun Nichols. Hi Shaun.
Hi Ian.
Right, okay, well, first bit of news we're going to talk about actually broke today, and you're going to be seeing an awful lot of this. The buzz it's going to be generating is really quite huge, and I couldn't resist that, sorry. It's Google's buzz. Google is getting into the social networking market with its Buzz platform that links in Twitter, Flickr, YouTube, a whole bunch of other social media sites, except for, of course, the F word, Facebook, which they managed to get through an entire hour-long presentation without mentioning. It was only at the Q&A we actually got some questions in, and somebody said, look, there's an elephant in the living room here, why haven't you talked about it? Okay, I mean, you've seen the stuff that we've been talking, that I've been writing about today. Are you going to be ditching the Facebook profile anytime soon?
No, but I really didn't plan on ditching my MySpace profile for a Facebook profile. I really didn't plan on ditching my Friendster profile for MySpace back in high school. So it keeps going and going. Everyone says, "Oh no, this is it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be the guy who gets on Twitter. I'm not going to be the guy who gets on Facebook." We all do. It's you know, you can't avoid it. Although I'm on Twitter strictly for professional reasons. That's all. It's only to share my stories with people. So.
Hang on, you had a MySpace page. What are you, like 12? Actually, back then you probably were. But yeah, I mean, Google's taken quite an interesting approach on this. Although the initial sort of release today is mainly a consumer thing as far as I can see, they were stressing very strongly the enterprise angle of this. Sergey Brin was doing this whole, we've been using it internally in the company, it's so productive. So it looks like they're trying to get a business spin on the social networking side. As for what he said about Facebook, it was simply, he didn't mention it by name, but some communications channels are mainly about fun and friends, whereas, you know, this is a more holistic approach. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing people ditching Facebook anytime soon, but based on what they've put down there, it's going to be very interesting to see how this develops. Now, sticking peripherally with Google, I understand the Google Nexus 1 you were writing has got a particular fan.
Yeah, they actually got something of a customer win. May not do too much in terms of the bottom line, but it'll get them some cred in the business there. Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux.
All-round decent chap.
Yeah, good guy. He said in a recent blog that he bought the Nexus 1 recently, and it's actually the first cell phone he's really enjoyed using. Which in itself is interesting that Linus Torvalds would be a person who absolutely can't stand cell phones, but...
he's all about the email, you see. I mean, it's just...
Yeah. But, I think it's definitely something that, you know, a little feather they can put in their cap, especially considering all the press that the iPhone's getting. The fact that a lot of these Android handsets have yet to really make the big dent that a lot of people were hoping they would make. The Droid, of course, got a ton of press attention.
But then the Droid can't run Android 2.1.
No, and we have Nexus 1 coming out, get a ton of attention, and Alice actually said that it didn't do very well, something like 20,000 sales in its first few days. Not a big seller. So, you know, maybe this is something that'll boost a little bit for them. If nothing else, it's something to brag about.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, if you've got a big name like Torvalds, I mean, it's nearly as good as having Stephen Hawking, or the Hawk, as he's known. Okay, now sticking with on the phones angle, we've had a bit of a kerfuffle about iPhone security at the moment.
Last week at the Black Hat conference, a security researcher basically did a presentation saying that the iPhone was fairly easy to infiltrate on a lot of angles, and when you actually get in and exploit some of these holes, you can steal things like call logging, GPS information, that sort of thing, because basically Apple does not really encrypt or protect a lot of these libraries, a lot of these files. So basically said that not only should Apple do a better job of addressing vulnerabilities, disclosing them, getting them patched in a timely manner, but they also need to do things like kind of better protect these files that are stored, and also he recommended doing something called an outgoing firewall, something that would screen traffic that's outgoing.
Okay, yeah.
So that you know what's being sent to where. And I mean, it's interesting. It's something that, you know, of course, Apple is always going to say, we don't get viruses, we're more secure, that sort of thing. The iPhone's becoming a very, very popular platform, and its
users have a fair amount of money as well.
So it's entirely possible that someone actually could aggressively target the iPhone with malware. being that Apple's the only company that puts out an iPhone.
Yeah.
An operating system, and because they have this pipeline to iTunes, I think it'll definitely be a advantage. Well, it'd be a big advantage for them in a security standpoint. You can get patches rolled out very, very quickly when you're dealing with people, and when you control all of that. So that can be helpful to them, but at the same time, it's an interesting bit of criticism. I think it's pretty valid.
Yeah. I mean, from what I saw in your story, I mean, it seems like these are perfectly doable hacks. And yeah, there is the problem that Apple users tend to be more complacent about IT security, simply because they don't get hit as often. They're not as big a target, so you find a lot of people still running Apple PCs without any antivirus on, which is, to my mind, just insane, but still. Moving on finally then to Apple's big competitor, or in days gone by at least, Microsoft. End of last week, a former Microsoft employee went public with an op-ed in the New York Times in which he said that Microsoft's very company nature precludes innovation. Basically, he'd been working on the ClearType and tablet launches, and the amount of political infighting that was going on in Microsoft actually held up both the tablet and ClearType quite considerably. Now, Microsoft issued a rebuttal saying, well, what about this and this and this, and really we're all fine, but didn't really address the central issues. I'm just like, Microsoft and innovation, they're not two words which go together like bacon and eggs.
No, actually, you can say from Windows on, the company really didn't do a great job of blowing competition away with this huge feature list. It was usually getting into the market or getting into the right place at the right time, or just, as with the case like the Xbox, throwing money at it, making partnerships, making deals, that sort of thing, until it actually did have a pretty decent advantage in the market. I mean, Bing, I think, was the exception to this. Bing was something that was fairly advanced, especially in contrast to Google search, that sort of thing.
Certainly, yes.
I mean, in general, Microsoft really isn't known for doing a lot of very innovative stuff, and I'm not sure exactly why that is. I mean, I can imagine there being a culture for it, but...
No, I mean, Microsoft, I think it's unfair to say that Microsoft code is inherently uninnovative. I mean, some of the early stuff they were doing with Windows, and particularly with DOS, was very good indeed. And when they started out, I mean, they were building emulators for computers which didn't even exist yet, just to test out code. All very good stuff. But yeah, at the moment, it's either, as you say, it's let's upgrade the operating system or stick a few new features on Office, or and those apps. The Zune now, actually, I saw one a couple of weeks ago and was pretty impressed with the Zune HD, I have to say. But when it came out, completely laughing stock, and rightly so. So yeah, may well have a point on that. But check out his op-ed. It's on the site at v3.co.uk, and see what you think. And of course, you can read more about all these stories there. We'll be back next week.